It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the Morehead State assistant volleyball coach, Coach Sarah Martin. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Brandon. Thanks for having me on.
Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to get started in coaching in college?
Yeah. So I've kind of always been in sports, and I played obviously volleyball and I played softball growing up, and that was really the way that I met all my friends. It was just how I grew and developed as a person, was being on teams and developing those relationships, and had some good experiences and some just okay experiences with coaches, but whatever they were, they always had an impact on me. And so as I played in college and worked camps and things like that, I just knew that like I loved being around the sport because of the relationships that it provided me. So after college, I coached high school and club for several years, and always kind of dreamed of like, what if coaching volleyball was like my full-time job? And I had a great full-time job that I really, really loved. And I knew that the only thing that could take me away from it would be to coach in college. And so when Jamie Gordon reached out to me about this opportunity, I knew it was one I couldn't pass up. So, and I haven't regretted it at all. It's everything I thought it would be. Even on the bad days, it's still great.
What was your college playing career like?
Oh goodness. I still can't believe it was so long ago. I actually had a dinner with some of my college teammates about a month ago, and we talked about just all the memories that we made. And obviously we had a lot of really great on-court memories, but having that like shared experience on court that carried to off the court, I think was what made it even better. I was part of a program that has built its way up. So my first couple of years, we weren't very good. We had fun and we gave a great effort. But then my senior year, we had one of the best programs in the program's, one of the best seasons in the program's history. And we actually won the first conference championship for the regular season that year. And now that program is nationally ranked and doing well, and their head coach is doing a great job in bringing in good people to make that program great. So I'm really proud to have been part of that experience of building a program. And I'm also really grateful for what that experience brought me with my best friends. I met my husband in college. So just all the people that I've been able to meet and maintain relationships with from that experience.
What was it like getting to put on that college jersey for the first time?
It was kind of like, I remember our very first tournament. I remember our very first game, what the gym looked like. It was almost just like not starting over, but this of like brand new journey of, yeah, I might have been playing for years, but these are new people. These are new coaches. These are new teams. A lot of the teams that we played, I'd never heard of before. And so it was just very like surreal almost to be like, it's finally here. I'm in college. I'm playing volleyball. And I get to do it with these people that I really enjoy being around. So yeah, I just guess surreal to think about how long ago it was that I did that. And just to think about that first time that I really was like, all right, I'm a college athlete.
What was it like coming out of college and getting your first coaching job at the high school level in Lexington?
I kind of love telling this story because I didn't have any plans to coach high school right after I graduated. And I actually had like posted something on Facebook and said, like, I really miss volleyball right now. It might have been like right before we would have been going to preseason. And one of my high school coaches actually sent me a message after he saw that and said, this high school in town is looking for an assistant coach. Would you be interested? And so I'm super grateful to him for taking that time. Coach Ship, he and I share a birthday. So I'm always super grateful for him of thinking of me for that first opportunity. And then I'm very, very grateful to Chris Bierman. He unfortunately passed away a year ago from COVID, but he gave me my first real club coaching job as well. And so I'm very grateful every day that I've had so many people who have taken chances on me for these roles. And then that next summer, Coach Dale Groupie reached out to me to come and coach at Henry Clay. And we had a great run at Henry Clay. Definitely a lot of success on the court, but just got to coach a lot of great people. And so I think going into it, I knew I was passionate about volleyball and I was passionate about people. And it just seemed like great roles for me to take on.
What was
And
it like?
sorry.
Hmm?
And I knew that I wanted to make as much of an impact on those players as those people had made an impact on me throughout my volleyball career, and then to see how it continued on even after I was done playing and now going into the coaching world.
What was it like also getting the opportunity to coach club volleyball?
It was great. I still remember my first club team ever. Um, we were a 16 threes team and we exceeded any expectation that anybody would have had for that team. And I had 12 amazing girls who just worked hard, invested in each other. I mean, I had two girls on that team that drove 2 hours to practice every day and then 2 hours home after. And so like just having that experience of being on my own. We didn't have assistant coaches, so it was just me and them, and getting to really see them buy into it and have that experience. I remember my husband and I got engaged that season during that club season, and I came to practice the next day and they all just tackled me and were so excited. And I knew that having that chance to develop those relationships through club volleyball beyond just what I was teaching them from volleyball were really the most meaningful things.
What was it like leaving on the club volleyball side to get into the college coaching side to go to Morehead State?
It was sad a little bit, but just because I loved those girls, but I knew that they all understood the reason why I was taking this next step in this opportunity. So it was hard to tell them. I still remember the practice where I had to tell my team at that time that I was leaving, and it was sad. I remember the email that I had to send to tell the high school team I was leaving. But in all, it just provided this whole other level of an experience and another level of people that I got to meet, because recruiting, I still get to talk to all these amazing young women that were recruiting for our program. And even the ones that decide not to join us at Morehead State are still like, it's great that we can have that relationship. And like, I see them at tournaments when they commit to schools, I'm happy for them. And so taking that step was hard to say like bye, but it was also amazing because of all of the new experiences I get to have as a college coach and developing these people from young women into women who are going on to have careers and be successful. It's a different relationship with college students than it is with high school students because, they're adults, they're grown-ups. And so it's just a different thing than when you're dealing with 14-year-olds going into high school. It's a different kind of relationship. And so it's been really fun to be able to experience the relationship on all those levels.
What was the 2020 season like going to the NCAA tournament for the first time in program history?
So we went to the NCAA program. We had been in the past, but we had never won a first round match before. And so it was our first win in the NCAA tournament in program history. And it was everything I ever thought it could be. It was my first NCAA tournament as a coach. And it was, of course, during like COVID season. And so it was actually a different format where usually with 64 teams, the first and second rounds are at different sites. The top 16 seeds all get to host. But for the 2020 tournament, which was actually spring of 2021, they had all of the games in Omaha. And there were only 48 teams. So it was like almost like a club volleyball tournament feel a little bit, because it was like a bunch of courts in a convention center. But it still somehow really had this great, like, this is real. We're playing in the NCAA tournament. Like, this is an awesome experience because you had to have credentials to go everywhere and everything like that. So I remember so much about that match and just how back and forth it was with Creighton, who's a great team coached by a great staff. Kirsten Bernthal Booth's a great coach. And I remember in that fifth set, like game point, we're receiving the ball. And I just remember being like, I think we're going to win this. Like, there's just this like ease. And we actually use that point as a reference for a lot of our team because our libero passed that ball and she was super aggressive going after it. And that was something that she had been working on, is to be more aggressive, to go after the ball. Our outside hitter, Olivia Lohmeyer, 2-time player of the year in our conference, had been working on this cut shot all season and, making some mistakes and just getting frustrated with it. And that's how we won the point, was her going up, being aggressive and hitting that shot. And so it just felt like this accumulation of so much hard work, so much sacrifice, so much dedication. And just like, I watched that last point because I love seeing the team just sprint onto the court and just be together. And then you see us as a coaching staff just all hug. And it just like, that was a great moment, but it was a great moment that was built upon a bunch of building moments that were maybe even more special, that then they got to experience that win from it.
Of course, what was that experience like for you? As you said that previously on the club tournaments, that was the style that you were accustomed to, and now at the NCAA tournament, you were in that custom.
You mean like from club and then playing in that tournament?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that it kind of like made it almost a little less stressful, because it was like, and it's something that we try to tell our team all the time, is like, this is a game and you should have fun. And yeah, there's pressure, but our head coach, Jamie Gordon, he always says like there's pressure and there's excitement and they're the same feeling. It's just your mindset on it. And so I think that by being able to have that experience of the NCAA tournament this year, where it was all in one place and everyone's there and they're all playing, that it was like, this is a game. Like, let's go out, let's compete, let's have fun. It's not gonna drastically change our lives one way or the other. It's just, let's just have fun. And our team really embraced that. And And another cool part of it too is just like there's always volleyball on. And so while our match is going on, we can like there's another 5-set match going on. And so you get to see like other coaches, and our team gets to see people they've played with in the past there. So having it all together was actually a really cool experience. So yeah.
What is it like, obviously, getting to coach both indoor and beach volleyball?
Oh, I love it. I mean, indoors, the game I played, it's where my experience was. And so I had a lot to learn about the beach game when I came to Morehead State. And I've loved every second of it. It's a lot of people think it's just volleyball outside, and it's not. It's a totally different game. And it's, I don't want to say more laid back, but it's a different environment. For beach, you have 3 matches going on at the same time. There's always music playing, like there's a DJ playing music the entire time. As coaches, we talk to them a whole lot less. Like indoor, we can yell stuff out at the court at them whenever we want. And beach, we can only talk to them at the side switches. Like only when every 7 points is the only time we can talk to them. We can't even call timeouts. We can suggest they call timeouts, but and so it provides this atmosphere of like, all right, like you guys gotta figure it out. You've got to use those leadership skills that you've been working on and things like that. So I think it's really fun that our players get the chance to experience both. They get to have competitive seasons all year and compete for championships. And the beach game has a great positive impact on the indoor game. And that has shown in our players for the past few years. So it's a lot of fun to be able to see their growth and coach our beach only players who come to Morehead just to play beach volleyball, and how they've really helped to lead our program to get better every single year.
Of course, what are some similarities and differences between obviously the indoor and beach volleyball side, besides obviously the court size?
Yeah, so things that are similar, you still get 3 contacts. You like still, it's essentially the same type of game, but there's just a few more restrictions in the sand because beach volleyball is 2-on-2. For example, you're not allowed to open hand tip the ball. And so it's a lot more of a shots game. So on the indoor side, especially at the higher level, it's people hitting the ball really hard and really fast. And trying to go after the most aggressive shot possible. In the sand, it's a little bit more of a strategy game. So you're only going up against 2 people. And so you're trying to find the open shot, and whether it's as a roll shot, high line shot, or maybe you do have an opportunity to swing or pokey the ball, you're really kind of looking at the court as a whole and trying to find the best way to score. And as defenders, you're trying to be as efficient as possible. So even though it might feel a lot different, the game itself teaches the game. Like you're going to learn volleyball through both of them.
Of course, what is it like as a coach to balance both the indoor coaching and the beach volleyball coaching?
It's good, I think, because we have a great staff and we have a great team. And so they make it better when we have long days, busy days, because we enjoy being around the team. And as a staff, we all enjoy each other, which is very helpful. In the fall is really the only time where they're both going on at the same time. We have indoor season in the fall, and then our beach only players train for their off season. And so that time is nice because we get this chance to really focus in on the beach game with this group and have this competitive season with the indoor side. I think it could get where it would be a lot if you didn't enjoy the people you were with, but we love our team and it's it's a lot of fun to be able to balance both.
What does a typical game day look like for both indoor and beach volleyball?
For indoor volleyball, game day is pretty much wake up, depending on what time the match is. We might have some downtime in the morning. So if we're home, maybe they're going to class still. If we're away, something that we like to do on the road is try to find like a local park or something like that where we could do like a short hike just to get outside and enjoy the fresh air and stretch our legs a little bit. We'll have our scout a few hours before. We'll have pregame meal and then head to the gym. Warm-ups are usually about 45 minutes before game time starts. I think the best part of game day, well, the game's the best part of game day, but for our team, we have what we call hype time. And for the 15 minutes, so an hour out from game time starting, they have 15 minutes where it's just them in the locker room and no coaches, no staff, nothing. And they're just like having a big dance party and just getting themselves hyped up for the game. And so that's something that they always really enjoy. We always enjoy walking in at the end of it and seeing all of them dancing and stuff. So, and it's pretty similar for beach too. For beach, we do play multiple matches in a day most of the time. And so for beach, it might be a little bit more like when we're not playing and waiting for our next match, they're eating snacks out of the coolers and watching other teams play volleyball, just different things like that. It's all about just hanging out with each other. So yeah, those are what game days are like.
Can you talk about a course to culture that you've helped build upon for both the volleyball side of indoor and the beach side?
Yeah, well, I think that I came into a program that had great culture. Morehead State volleyball has had great culture for a long time. Jamie's been there for almost 20 years, and I think your culture, you can try to have a great culture, but it only matters if you back it up and if you can trust that the people you bring in are going to buy into that culture. And I think that's a big thing that we've been able to do at Morehead State is we believe in our culture. All of us on staff do. We believe that it's all about the love of the game and building these great relationships that are going to last forever. Kirsten, our associate head coach and head indoor and head beach coach, she always says that we're not recruiting your teammates, we're recruiting your sisters that you're going to have relationships with for your whole life. And so I think that by us also bringing in such awesome young women that are going to buy into, I love volleyball and I love and care about my teammates, then that's how you get such an amazing culture in a program.
Can you talk about, of course, who are some of the teams that you face on the indoor side and on the beach side?
So we're in the Ohana Valley Conference for both indoor and beach. As with every other conference in the country right now, things are shaking up a lot and everybody is going everywhere. But we're very happy in the OVC right now. The teams that are still in the OVC include Tennessee Tech, UT Martin, oh my goodness, Southern Illinois, Edwardsville, Eastern Illinois, Little Rock, Arkansas. So those are some of our conference schools. But then every college Division I program has like our pre-conference schedule. So last year, for example, we had an amazing opportunity to play a lot of really great teams in pre-conference. So we played Georgia, Pepperdine, Tennessee, Pitt, Marshall. Really, really cool. We played 3 teams ranked in the top 25, and we played a Final Four team at our place at Morehead. So it was really great. You're really not limited. That's the great thing is depending on the year, you could go out and play someone who's in the Final Four right before you play people in your conference.
Of course, on the beach volleyball side, what is it like and how is it like obviously getting to play those teams like UCLA and other teams that also have beach volleyball?
I hope we can play UCLA one day. That would be cool. I think it's fun that our team gets to compete in a conference that is the same as indoor, because they're familiar with the teams. And so it adds a little bit of a layer to that. For the first couple of years that we had beach volleyball, we didn't have a conference that we belonged to. So having that conference has really kind of pushed the competitive side of it a little bit more. And now that the NCAA is in talks to expand the beach volleyball national championship from 8 teams to 16 teams, and hopefully they'll continue to expand that on, more schools will get the opportunity to play in the national championship tournament as they're bringing in some more automatic qualifiers for those tournaments from the conferences. So I think that the game is growing, and that's awesome because beach volleyball is such an amazing game that can bring in even more players to the great game of volleyball. And I hope that it continues to grow and we continue to back it with that support.
What does the recruitment process look like for prospective student athletes looking to play both indoor volleyball and beach volleyball?
So we very much believe that recruiting is individual to each person. Everybody's on their own journey, just like all of us in our lives and our careers. We're all on our own journey, and so I think the biggest thing that we want to do is be honest about us as people, be honest about our program, be honest about our school, and that would be one of the things that I would encourage recruits to do is just as you go through this process. It's a lot. I've been on both sides of it, on the high school side of it and now on the college side of it. A lot of contact, a lot of communication, a lot of phone calls, a lot of questions, but just enjoy it. It should be fun, but it should also be honest. You should be honest with yourself and be honest with all of the people that you talk to, because you want to make sure that you're happy where you end up and that you feel like you can be you. So I think to everybody, it's a different journey.
What does the official visit look like for prospective student athletes looking to go to Morehead State?
I think that is also an individualized thing as well. We don't have like a template of this is exactly what a recruit does for a visit. It's very much based on who they are, what they want to get out of the experience, because at the end of the day, it's about them. And if they don't care at all to see the rec center or talk to this professor, then I mean, we don't want to spend time doing things that recruits don't want to do. And so it's definitely very much like how do we want them to feel when they're here, what is important to them, and how can we showcase what we believe is special about Morehead State, why we love it, and why we are still here.
Of course, as a coach, what is it like showing them obviously the indoor volleyball program and the facility, and also showing them the beach volleyball facility?
Yeah, we're very lucky. We have great facilities for both sports. For the volleyball side, we have it's Johnson Arena is where we currently compete. We also have a great practice facility that was just opened 3 years ago now. In 2019, we were able to start practicing in there, and it's been great to have those resources, not just for us, but for men's and women's basketball as well, to have a great practice venue, to have a great competition venue that is a fun environment to be in, and to have game day. from that side of things. And then from the beach volleyball side, we're incredibly lucky to have a wonderful facility. We were actually the first school in the state of Kentucky to host an NCAA beach volleyball match back in 2018. It was us against Austin P. Carrie Walsh Jennings even tweeted about it. So that was really awesome. So we're very, very lucky that we have such wonderful facilities for our athletes to train and compete in.
What advice would you give prospective student athletes that are in high school looking to play college indoor volleyball and beach volleyball?
I would say the best advice that I could give is to just be honest and be real with what you want, because you want to make sure that what you really want from your experience is what you're communicating to the people you're talking to, and to not be afraid to ask difficult questions, because I believe that it should feel like home wherever you end up deciding to go. It should feel comfortable, from the coaching staff to the other people on the team to the people that you meet when you're out on your tour. Everybody is involved, and volleyball is a part of your college experience, but it's not the only part. And so take it all in from the whole thing. And then my next piece of advice is just don't rush it. Take it at your own pace. Everybody is going to commit at whatever time is best for them. And so just take a breath and trust that the process is going to work out in the best way that it can.
What advice would you give those college athletes looking to play professionally, whether it's Athletes Unlimited or the AVP?
Yeah, I think it's great to continue to work towards dreams like that. My advice is just to make sure that you can check that you love it and that that's what's driving you to want to do it, because playing professionally is a big commitment, and especially from the volleyball side, like, you could end up in another country where you don't know anybody except your team. And so you have to have that love of the sport to really kind of ground you to that decision. And then my other advice is use your resources. Everybody that's gone through this process of playing in high school, club, college has coaches, recruiting coordinators, like everybody that can be resources to them, not just to help get them there, but to help them through what they might going through mentally, missing home, or advice on different perspectives of things. So I say use your resources as well.
What advice would you give future college coaches looking to get started in the industry of indoor volleyball and beach volleyball?
I would say to go for it. I think if you're thinking about coaching in college at all, I feel like you have to have some level of love for the game, because it's a lot of work, but it's fun work. It's time consuming, but if you love it, you enjoy that it's taking up time out of your day. So I think that especially graduating from college, definitely get a membership to the AVCA, American Volleyball Coaches Association. They've got lots of resources. If you've never been to the AVCA convention, which is the same time as the indoor volleyball Final Four every year, they have a great program called Coaches for Coaches that they have scholarships for people to attend convention for the first time. And that's a great time to network, meet other coaches, meet other coaches your age trying to get in, and build your own network as well. Getting graduate assistant positions, going ahead and getting your master's while you're helping, even if it's not coaching, even if it's just you're shagging balls, you're a practice player, you're doing the video, you're keeping score, just being in that environment, learning from coaches around you, learning from experience. There's never anything too small to learn or anything that's not important enough for you to do. And I think that the more coaches that can learn, like, I don't have to immediately go to Power 5 assistant coach. Like, I'm going to learn wherever I am, as long as I am engaged in learning and want to get that out of my experience.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media along with the Morehead State volleyball program at?
Yeah, so my social media is just Sarah N Martin 8. But I'm not as exciting. Mine's mainly pets and stuff. But if you want to find our volleyball ones, it's MSU Eagles VB or MSU Eagles BVB. And that'll get you both our volleyball and our beach volleyball accounts across all platforms.
Thank you again, Coach Sarah Martin, for your interview, and best of luck in your future with the Morehead State volleyball program.
Thanks, Brandon.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach Sarah Martin, for your interview, and best of luck in your future.
Thank you.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.